Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Proclamation News and Gatherings. Thank you ever so much for coming through. It's the prodigious, the prominent professor at PMQs. Thank you ever so much. Everyone on board, stay tuned. We are actually building a bigger, better edition of PMQs. I'm so overwhelmed. The support we're getting. The support we're getting from the whole Dominion. Not just UK, but people coming all over. I'm really thankful for people supporting Proclamation News and Gatherings. Thank you ever so much. We've got car incidents inside the UK, criminology inside the UK. We've got loads on. I'm an artist as well, so stay tuned. Make sure you share and subscribe. Bear with me 2 seconds. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. Oh, you've done. That's all right. Yeah, we're going now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really means the world to me. I was going to tune into Castbox, but we're not with Castbox today. It's just us in the building. Before entering the UK roads, make sure you're not driving in under sleep deprivation, under the influence of alcoholism or narcotics. No disrespect, but there's more and more incidents happening in the UK under the influence of drivers, under the influence of sleep deprivation, alcoholism, or narcotics. Incidents all over the UK. Loads in Manchester, I can quite imagine. It's quite busy built-up city, isn't it? Absolutely. There's quite a few in Essex as well. Quite a few incidents in Essex. Making sure you and passengers have seat belts, safety belts adjacent to the car seat. Babies have their baby seats and seat belts adapters adjacent to their car seat. Checking your engine oil, water coolant tank, making sure they're topped up to maximum level. Check out for further police instructions, police safety signs. Do check your centre and wing mirror before acting into a safe, sufficient directional choice. Check your PSI limits, make sure they're topped up to maximum level. Make sure you put sufficient fuel into your destination. Always check your destination to make sure there's no accidents on the road. Imagine if your wife's going to labour, you've got to get to the hospital. There's an accident on the road, you're going to be late for the delivery of your baby. Arrival of your baby just because there's been an accident on the road. You never know what's ahead of you, so it's always worth checking your route to destination. In Colchester on a night journey, before I head off, let's have a little think of what the NHS, what the police force, the fire brigade have to do day in, day out, and the doctors, doctors, surgeons, the things they have to put themselves through to support the whole of, the whole democracy, the whole of the UK. All around the globe, it's the same all around the globe, but I'm saying, as we're in the UK, we're talking about UK today, we're talking about our Dominion. The police have to attend the scene. Could be drivers under the influence of alcohol, could be drug dealers, gangs, could be knife crime, gun crime, any kind of drug dealing events going on these roads. Police have to attend the scene. They don't, the job they do, I don't think we'll give them the benefit of the doubt how much hard work they put in, day out. Fire brigade, having to cut newborn babies out of cars, and mothers and fathers. These are innocent drivers on the road because you've got the other drivers on the opposite side of the road, crashed into them under the influence of alcoholism and narcotics, sleep deprivation, stupidity, youth for today. It's weird, you really realise the hard work they do put in, day out. Anyway, in Colchester, Old Heath Road, partially blocked, stalled vehicle, queue and traffic, congestion. Congestion on the queue and traffic due to stalled vehicle on Old Heath Road. At Whitehall Road, congestion to Lidl Supermarket, Abbots Road. Traffic sensors show that the broken down vehicle is on the mini roundabout. This is reported today, 9th of June, at 2:15 p.m. So maybe not checking your MOT Radiator gone. Could be anything. Alternator's gone. All the little things. Use your cognitive skills. Your thinking mechanism. What could go wrong in your car? If you can't afford to run it, then don't run. Simply don't run your car. If you can't afford to get repaired, keep your engine oil topped up, water coolant tank topped up. Driving a car with a dodgy radiator, dodgy rad, is it worth risking it? A dodgy alternator, make sure you get changed. It's important. Save delays. That's why it's good to get public transport, isn't it? Anyway, A133, queuing traffic in our construction area. On A133, St Andrews Avenue both ways at Waitrose. In construction, a lane closure is in place. So if you're picking your kids up this afternoon, you could be stuck in traffic around Colchester area. This is reported at 10:30 a.m. today. Chelmsford, A1016, slow traffic in construction area. Waitrose lane near home base. In the construction area, temporary traffic lights are in place. We've got a shout out to our sponsors after the road congestion, so stay tuned, guys. It's important, If you want to better your health, if you want to better the security of your household, it's well worth to listen in and tune in. It's important to make your safety paramount. M1, all lanes stopped, stalled, vehicle traffic coping well. All lanes stopped due to traffic vehicles on M1 both ways from junction 6, A405, North Orbital Road, North Watford, Bricket Wood to junction 8, A414, Hemel Hempstead. Traffic is coping well. Images confirm traffic is being held up both ways at around 3:15 to assist with an animal transfer. It's reported today at 2:15 p.m. At Watford, ladies and gents, at Watford. In St Albans, Greater London, M1, earlier stall vehicle queuing traffic. All lanes have been reopened due to earlier stall vehicle on the M1 both ways from junction 6, A405, North Orbital Road, North Watford, Bricket Wood, junction 8, A414, Hemel Hempstead. Images confirm all held traffic has been released just after 3:30 and traffic is now flowing in all lanes. 2:15, first reported. We're going to look over Ilford because that's just going into London, isn't it? In the east of London. A13, earlier stalled vehicle. Very slow traffic, congestion to all lanes have been reopened. Very slow traffic due to earlier stalled vehicle on A13. Alfred's Way, onbound to Eastern Approach, Lodge Avenue flyover, congestion to Canning Town flyover and residual delays merge with evening peak delays. Lane 1 of 2 was blocked. All lanes have been reopened. This is reported at 10 minutes past 1 p.m. I like giving that road there. If it's instant there, you are stuffed. Because I used to drive from Walton on Hayes to Canning Town every day of my boxing career. Anyway, let's give a shout out to my sponsors. I hope you do think about planning your destination to save your congestion. Think about bettering your health, ladies and gents. It's time to make that change. Change is important. You're not happy with your lifestyle. You want to get, you want to gain aspirations in life. You want to be a better person for your children. You want to grow up wise with knowledge. Maybe change your professionality. This is a good start. Relax-UK.com. Relax UK Limited, health, travel and wellness products since 1997. UK relaxation shop, selling various ranges of products from relaxation, travel, wellbeing, biofeedback, sleeping and natural products. I've had some vitamin C from the company and it's the best vitamin C on the market. It's, the difference about vitamin C in Tesco's to having that vitamin C from the Relax UK Limited is the difference between putting unleaded fuel from BP garage into a Ferrari and putting unleaded fuel from a Tesco garage into a Ferrari. The fuel from Tesco's is not applicable for sport engines. Anyway, We're also proudly sponsored by PSS Alarms. Very etiquette and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered, including central station monitoring provided, all work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. He's carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house in Hertfordshire, Potter's Bar. He's carried out more etiquette works in Essex, such as Bar. It's been taken over by hands. I think it's like a Brazilian bar now, where Bar used to be. He's back there yesterday, I believe. Yeah. He has installation and maintenance of intruder alarms, fire alarms, CCTV, all work guaranteed and certified to SSARB standard 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pubs, clubs, restaurants, and new business setup. Secure your business, secure your equity. Mention Professor Johnson for an extra discount. Secure your home, secure your business. Your safety and priorities within your business are paramount. Think safety, think first. Secure your equity. The first 5 numbers, please get a pen if you want to make safety of your equity. First 5 numbers, 07908. 07908. 216162. The last 6 numbers, 216142. 216142. The number altogether, 07908 216142. Mention Professor Johnson, you will get looked after and you will get a discount. Thank you ever so much. We can look at the criminology, the cause of a provocation, the cause of these inhumane juveniles thinking mens rea rehabilitations. What turns a man from the psychomotor state? It's like turning a Ferrari from 0 to 60 miles per hour, isn't it, in 10 seconds? What turns a man out of a psychomotor state, 0 to 10 seconds, to go and commit murder or taking the possibility of someone's life? Why would they do that? What sort of psychomotor state do you need to be a metropolitan lunatic asylum? Witham Braintree Road assault. 6 people arrested after a violent attack. Leaves man fighting for his life. 6 men, 6 grown men. The attack shut the road for hours last night. This is Monday, the 7th of June. Officers have arrested 6 people after a violent attack left a 30-year-old man with life-threatening head injuries last night on Monday, the 7th of June. Police cordoned off Braintree Road in Witham, Essex, close to Witham train station after the attack, which happened just after 5:15 p.m. A 30-year-old man remains in hospital fighting for his life. This is close to home. I don't like things. That's exactly what happened to me when I was 18. This was stick with him for the remainder of his life, and there's no support. Quickly after the attack, Essex police arrested 6 local men in relation to the attack. All of whom remain in custody. Inspector Gina Mirrenton, French, of Braintree at Uttersfield Community Police Team said, "I'd like to thank the people for Witham and their patience last night and for their assistance with our investigation so far. This is an appalling incident has left the man in hospital fighting for his life. I was fighting for my life as well. I tell you what, this guy, the trauma is going to stick with him for the rest of his life. It's going to stick with him for the rest of his life. It happened when he's 30, it'll stick with him the rest of life. Mine still does. I still have nightmares, I still have blackouts, and I still don't like people. I don't trust no one. And it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Thankfully, incidents with this level of violence are rare in this town, but understand this will cause great concern to the local community. My officers will remain a visible presence in the area today, so if you see them patrolling or on a cordon, please stop and speak to them if they have any questions or concerns. I mean, when you've had your life taken away and then you got the job centre asking you to go to work, you're asking to go to work, you've had your life almost taken away. You've got to start trusting people. You've got to go back out to work. You've got to trust the people around you. You're not in the right frame of mind, not for the rest of your life. People don't understand the mental side effects it can affect you. It depends on how bad the kicking you've had, how much it can affect you for late life. I might have done things to try and support my children, very barbaric things I've done to try and support my children. But I'll tell you what, I was courageous to what I've done. I think I've done enough breaking my own bones to, the guy have a nice, easy life for a change. Last night, we acted quickly to arrest 6 people, ranging in their age from 40 to 17. And we will be progressing our investigation throughout the course of today. As you can see from these photos, a lot goes into investigation, especially in its early hours. Whether that's public reassurance, protecting the scene, gathering evidence, we need all the pieces to come together quickly. I know this can cause some disruption, particularly when this location is central. So I'd once again like to thank the people of Witham for being so understanding. If you have to check your dash cam, CCTV or doorbell footage, or if you saw or heard anything important, you haven't yet spoken to your officers, please do so. Call us on 101, submit a report to our website. The incident number, to quote 974 of June the 7th. It's important this guy gets all the help he can and the support. And if he doesn't feel later in life, 10 years, 20 years down the line, that he's able to work because of this effect, should he be handed it? Should he, he needs to be left alone. Let's face it, Prince Harry, Prince William, all left alone. They've always been left, never have to do a day's work in their life. Why should people that have been a victim of a bad situation, 6 people, I've got beaten up 15 blokes, hammers and baseball bats. You get handed that like you're a villain, you've got to go work. It makes you feel, you know what I mean? I don't know if people understand the effect, the trauma that can happen, All 6 people, a 31-year-old man, a 38-year-old woman, 2 34-year-old men, a 28-year-old man, and a 70-year-old baby were local and have been arrested on suspicion of intentionally causing grievous bodily harm. 4 of them, the 70-year-old boy, 28-year-old man, 38-year-old woman, and a 41-year-old man have been arrested on suspicion of a frame. 41-year-old was also arrested on suspicion of possession of Class A drugs. The effects that this guy is going to have, which not a lot of people understand, the effects that he will have for the rest of his life, will mean he's never going to trust a soul in his life. If he goes to work, he's going to feel like he's exposed to the attackers. They might find out where he is. There's a lot that's going to go through his mind for the rest of his life. That's what people need to understand. Not you listeners, but the HMRC, the government, everything involved around these victims that don't get enough support, which is down to their consent, HMRC, to make sure they get the right bodies behind these people helping them. They don't. Brexit. EU says patients wearing thin with UK in Northern Ireland border check dispute. The EU says its patient is wearing very thin. With the UK in talks aimed to avoiding a trade war over Northern Ireland border checks, exports of sausages and other chilled meats from Great Britain to Northern Ireland will effectively be banned at the end of the month. The UK says ready to ignore the ban to prevent further disruption. The top EU official, Markus Sefcovic, warned taxes on imports could be imposed if that happens. Speaking after a meeting with the UK's Minister, Lord Frost, Mr. Sefcovic said it was positive we could find a solution. Where this is a will, there is a way. But he added, our patience really is wearing very, very thin, and therefore we have to assess all options we have at our proposal. This could include legal action, arbitration, retaliatory trade measures such as tariffs, as he explained. Acting firmly, he said, trust had to be restored between the two sides after the UK had broken the terms of the 2019 Northern Ireland Protocol. The UK has held back from carrying out full checks on supermarket goods and parcels moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland, prompting the EU accused the UK of undermining the protocol and to begin legal proceedings. Today, I say we're at the crossroads in our relationship with the UK, said Mr. Sefcovic, the Vice President of the European Commission. If the UK would take further unilateral action in the coming weeks with the EU, will not be shy in acting swiftly, firmly, and resolutory to ensure the UK abides by its international obligations. He said that EU has offered a temporary solution to the chilled meat row ahead of a comprehensive trade deal, but he said the UK was not prepared to accept it because it would involve signing up to the EU food standards. The ideology prevails over what is good for the people of Northern Ireland, he added, causing disruption. I knew there's going to be, from the start of this Brexit, I knew that's going to be a problem for Northern Ireland. Causing disruption. UK sources close to the negotiations said nobody wants to get into a trade war or anything close to it. It was much better to find agreed ways forward, added the source, and the people of Northern Ireland want solutions, not threats. But unfortunately, we have got used to living in an atmosphere where there are threats. Speaking after his meeting with Mr. Šefčovič, Lord Frost said the protocol was being implemented in a way which is causing disruption in Northern Ireland, and we had some pretty frank and honest discussions about that situation. There weren't any breakthroughs. There weren't any breakthroughs either, and we're going to carry on talking, he added. I'm going to have a little discussion when I get through to this. What we really need to do is very early find some solutions which support the Belfast Good Friday Agreement, support the peace process in Northern Ireland, and allow things to return to normal. Great Britain, England, Scotland and Wales no longer follows EU rules, but Northern Ireland does because it shares a land border with the Republic of Ireland, an EU member. EU food safety rules do not allow chilled meat products to enter its market from non-members like the UK. Frozen meat is covered by the rules. In January, the two sides agreed a 6-month grace period to allow companies to set up an alternative supply chains, but that runs out at the end of June. Lord Frost said the EU was insisting that the two sides operate the protocol in an extremely purist way, and he did not see any problem and continuing allow exports of chilled meats. We don't see what risk is caused in Northern Ireland if chilled meats are imported there from Great Britain. Other disagreements over the protocol which meant to prevent the return of a hard border on Northern Ireland include medicine supplies, which are subject to post-Brexit red tape. Medicines made in Great Britain have been licensed separately for the use of Northern Ireland and undergo separate safety inspections before being released for patients. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said she will also raise Northern Ireland issues with Prime Minister Boris Johnson at this weekend's G7 summit in Cornwall. If I was President Ursula von der Leyen of Northern Ireland Protocol, do you know what I would do? Because I mean, I'm a supporter of Conservatives. I back Boris Johnson to a certain degree, but he's letting farmers in the UK do trade deals with Australia, but not Northern Ireland. How ironic is that? How ironic is that? Because farmers can do trade with the biggest country, one of the biggest countries in the world, but we can't help a little small country that is classed as Great Britain. Great Britain was once part of all of us, the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales. The trade deals taking Northern Ireland out of Great Britain is barbaric. It is barbaric. And you can see President Ursula von der Leyen is going to be spitting feathers at Boris Johnson. Hopefully she brings that up, what I just said, in the biggest judiciary in the UK if she turns up, because that alarm needs to be raised for Northern Ireland. I'm a realist, I do support Boris, I do support Conservative, and I do study my academic integrity of arts and humanity, history and politics. But that's what I'd be saying. If you Google the trade deal we've got going with Australia, that we allowed all farmers in England can share a trade with Australia. We can sell to Australia, the biggest country in the world. Do they really need to do that? We need to live on our own reproduction. We need to live on our own produce. When I've read about, we've got David Attenborough on one show saying national resources are going to be at all-time low because of population growth. Well, let's do a trade deal with one of the biggest countries in the world. David Attenborough's going to be spitting feathers. Well, I don't know, he might not. He might be under rules and regulations to what he can and can't say, but I'm a realist and I wouldn't sit in there and bite my lip because I've been told to. There's no way. There's no way. I'm not going to do a trade deal with Northern Ireland, but do massive trade with Australia. Australia has bigger population than the UK, but we're going to do a trade deal with them. What a barbaric, it's not barbaric, that's been fascist to the barbaric people, but what a stupid conclusion. Do maths. Ask them to do maths. What's 2 and 2? They probably said 22. Idiots. Absolute idiots. Anyway, the PMQs. We're having a quick recap of what happened at the PMQs. So what we can learn from today's session at the PMQs. Keir Starmer pushes the Prime Minister over catch-up funding for schools. Labour leader and SNPs Ian Blackford both questioned the Prime Minister on cuts to overseas aid. The cutting overseas aid. It's another thing what I don't understand. Another thing I don't understand is the amount of money we pump into Beijing. China is the biggest globalization country of the world, but we're pumping X amount into countries like Beijing. Haiti, Venezuela, Ethiopia, some of the poorest countries in the world that need supporting, but we support the richest country in the world, Beijing, which is China, the biggest globalization country in the world. We pump something like 60 million a year into Beijing. That's why there is 10 million, is it 10,000 bicycles in Beijing? And that's a fact. We're probably pumping them in there. We're giving the money for it. Starmer says the government balks at the amount needed for schools after the pandemic and the current plans are false economy. They will harm disadvantaged pupils. Johnson says 6 million children will benefit from tutoring measures. Starmer says the UK is the only member of the G7 that is cutting overseas aid budget at a time when more help is needed, such as in the Middle East, where it is needed to reset talks between Israel and Palestinians. Absolutely, they do need help. SNP and Ian Blackford said the aid cuts are inhumane, and the Prime Minister is running out from his own moral and legal responsibilities ahead of G7 summit. When people read politics, they probably think, why are we involved with the Middle East? You've got places like Russia and all the other countries, man. Why Russia or all the others helping them out? The World Trade Organization are all pumping money in together to support the damn one countries, but also supporting the rich countries and all. That's the thing that gets me. Why pump money to rich countries? Understand if you're doing a trade agreement, pump some, we give you some. I understand that, but Beijing, I don't know why. Is that where the bicycles come from? And that is a fact. Could well be. Maybe that's what they're doing it for. Who knows? The Prime Minister says that the British people are in favour of the balance of the country, striking because we are very difficult financial times and already spending 10 billion. SDLP leader Colin Eastwood asked why the Prime Minister prioritising a trade deal with Australia for cheap, dodgy beef, rather than sorting out Brexit issue in Northern Ireland. Johnson said his focus is on the rights and the ability of the people of Northern Ireland to have access to goods from Great Britain. Former PM Theresa May asked if the government will look at the ramifications of the collapsed Hillsborough prosecutions. Prime Minister paid tribute, courage and determination of victims' families and said ministers would consider the options for changes to law. They need to, with law, they need to come down harder on these offenders. I don't know what Theresa May was talking about there, but I'm just saying in general, criminology needs to come down harder on these offenders. Some of these people, even people that go into adult don't deserve to be alive, some of the stuff they've done. Frost, Northern Ireland talks, frank and honest. Lord Frost has said that there weren't any breakthroughs. There weren't any breakdowns either. In the talks with the EU Commission this morning, he said the two sides would carry on talking. In a short interview at the end of today's meeting, the UK's Brexit minister said there had been some frank and honest discussions about the situation in Northern Ireland, including the movement of chilled meats from Great Britain to Northern Ireland, responding to the suggestion that the UK knew that this was part of the protocol, is signed and needs to obey and the rules it agreed. Frost said that the EU is insisting we operate the protocol in an extremely purist way. The reality is that it's a very balanced document designed to deal with the very sensitive politics in Northern Ireland, he said. The issues of Brexit and the Northern Ireland Protocol emerged at Prime Minister's questions. On one side, a call from the SDLP from the UK to come to terms with the EU order to ensure fewer checks. On the other, a Tory backbencher saying the EU needs to be more pragmatic. It's a strong flavour of the arguments in its play at today's talks between Lord Frost and the EU counterpart, Maros Sefcovic, that has been going as we speak, not far away from Parliament. And it's quite easy to give that as an answer, isn't it? The EU needs to be more pragmatic. It's quite easy to come out of that for any answer. That would just shut the conversation down, wouldn't it? EU's where? Well, give us, some examples. Why does the EU need to be pragmatic? What spider-gram can we set up to make the EU more pragmatic then? Rather than the EU needs to be more pragmatic and cut off the conversation. Why, where, when, and how? That's what we want to know. Put that down and dot line. I'm conservative, but you can't just come out of that for an answer. It needs to be more pragmatic. Well, how? Why? Where? When? What are we going to change? What's the protocol next? That's what I need to be talking about. Welsh MP asked about Brexit betrayal. Welsh Independent MP Jonathan Edwards asked the Prime Minister about fate of the steel industry. Will it be next to be betrayed by Brexit, he asked. The Prime Minister says Brexit offers opportunities for Welsh farmers. Jonathan Edwards is Boris's cousin. So he's getting questioned by his own family. School catch-up, money, derisory, says Labour MP. Labour Ian Lavery calls the government catch-up for the school children in England derisory. England says Prime Minister, who went on to Eton and Oxford University, has wonderfully privileged education background and asked him to explain his situation. Boris Johnson implies that it is wrong and that his scheme in place will make a huge difference to pupils. Tory MPs for formal apology for forced adoptions. The issues of forced adoptions is raised by the Conservative Sir David Amis, who says thousands of women suffered as a result, including those in Southend constituency. Does the Prime Minister agree that an apology should be given and an acknowledgement that was wrong, he asked. Johnson says he echoes the sentiments about those who have been affected. But he says the practices can't happen now because the law has been changed to protect people. The agencies involved have apologised, he adds, and that's quite right too. The BBC has reported the stories of hundreds of women forced to give up their babies for adoption in 1950s, 60s and 70s. That is a fact. Theresa May. Why has no one been prosecuted for Hillsborough deaths? Former Prime Minister Theresa May says in April 1989, 96 Liverpool fans were unlawfully killed at Hillsborough, but nobody has ever been prosecuted for these deaths. She says the most recent trial collapsed because police evidence has been changed. She asked the Prime Minister to look at the ramifications of this future inquiries. And for the families of the Hillsborough 96, Boris Johnson says the families of those killed in the Hillsborough disaster have been tremendous courage and determination. He says we will always consider opportunity to consider the law and how it operates, and will consider this as a case. A lot of people getting away with murder. Absolutely. Sometimes they get the wrong people in for questioning, take the wrong people to court, the wrong people getting punished, jumping to conclusions, not working off qualitative evidence, they're working off quantitative evidence, hearsay. You see people on Facebook bogging someone out, giving them verbal abuse on Facebook, cyberbullying. They're not getting the qualitative evidence, they're going off hearsay. Prime Minister, we take government standing seriously. Labour, Andrew Gwynn, asked about the resignation of advisors and recent criticisms and standards in government, saying, does the Prime Minister wonder why this happens to him? Prime Minister responds to the government takes standing seriously. Tory MP, EU needs a pragmatic approach to the rules. Conservative David Jones is up next, and he also asks about the ongoing Brexit tension in the EU. He says he notes that some in Brussels have problems with Lord Frost, who negotiated Britain's departure. Jones asked the Prime Minister with Frost's assessment that matters would be easier if he adopted a pragmatic rather than a purist approach to implementing the rules. Johnson says he agrees with Frost completely and thinks he's doing an outstanding job. MPs asked what is being done to avoid marriage exploitation. Labour MP Fabian Hampton asked what is being done to avoid marriage and inheritance exploitation. He says an elderly constituent of his with his late-stage dementia was married by a man who befriended her. This, he says, wiped out a previous will and meant her entire estate was left to him. Since his episode, he says he has been contacted by hundreds of other people whose family members have had the same thing happen to them. Boris Johnson said he will put Mr Hampton in contact with the relevant people in government to deal with the issue. When Levelling Up start, Prime Minister asked, Labour's Barry Sheeman asked the government's Levelling Up agenda is going to start criticising the level of resource and quality of management projects. The Prime Minister responds that the people across the country are responding to a massive investment transforming lives, hopes and opportunities. We can look at more criminology across the UK, ladies and gents. What's the cause of a provocation? Is it conflict? Not always necessary. Sometimes it could be the mix of chemicals, alcohol, alcoholism, narcotics, sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation can make someone feel a bit, angry, but why to the stage of men's rehabilitations, murder? Essex crime. Leigh, man, kills pet dog by throwing him out of fridge after he didn't come inside when he's called. He threw his dog out of fridge. He claimed he did not mean to do it. How can you not mean to throw a dog out of fridge? The next man killed his pet dog, throwing him out of fridge after the dog didn't come inside when called. A court has heard. Christopher Morton, 30 of Pinewood Avenue, Leon City, appeared before Southend-on-Sea Magistrates Court on Wednesday, May the 26th, following charges of causing unnecessary suffering to his pet dog Leo. Mr Morton was charged after he killed his dog by throwing him at the fridge. He pleaded guilty at the charges but claimed that he did not mean to do it. RSPCA was initially contacted and investigated the circumstances around Leo's death, which is believed to have been a result of Leo not coming inside when he was called. An expert vet report in Leo's death concluded that Leo died as a consequence of severe head trauma. The injuries were consistent with him being thrown at and hitting a fridge. The report stated that it is likely that Leo was rendering instantaneously attentive to pain upon colliding with the fridge and did not experience suffering by the mechanism of pain. However, the report stated it is likely that Leo experienced fear and distress momentarily as he was thrown. Mr Morton was given a 16-week prison sentence and banned from keeping animals for 10 years in order to pay costs of £1,304. Speaking after the case, RSPCA Inspector Jen Wildman, who investigated the incident, said, according to the report, it is clear Leo suffered a severe head trauma, which led to his death. Although his death would have been instantaneously, he would have suffered a fear as he was thrown. I mean, why would you kill your dog? He should get done for murder. If it's human or animal, murder is murder. He should get done for life. That was done on purpose. If you hit an animal in a car, you might be able to fight your way out. Wet paper bag there, you might say it's an accident. But throwing your dog out of fridge in anger is attempted murder. You should at least get 12 years in prison, I believe. Man fighting for his life in hospital after Witham assault. We just spoke about that. So anyway, ladies and gents, I'm sorry I overwhelmed you all tuned in. And a 40-minute show, it's taters outside, absolute taters. Now, it's boiling hot. Boiling hot, you can boil your potatoes in the heat. Fry an egg on your bonnet. Thank you all so much for rightly coming to proclamation news and gatherings with the prodigious, the prominent Professor Johnson. Thank you ever so much. Make sure you tune in. I'm going to do as much as I can, but when it's hot like this, I've got to get a bit of vitamin D to my skin and bones. Or safety Raynaud's disease, I need to soak up the sun. It's the same as everyone else. You need to make sure you get some sun. When you get into winter months, you're going to regret that you didn't go outside. So make sure you get out there. Put sunscreen on. Don't get skin cancer. I've got a few moles coming in my back myself. I've got to be careful. Each time we opened up our pores to the sun, more moles could produce. Be careful. Be safe. Not sorry. I want to say God bless. Take care. One love. And speak soon. I'd like to know how I can end my show. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Take care. God bless. Take care. One love.